What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to this special episode. I got Mr. Tyler Dragon with me. Tyler, how's it going, big guy?
It's going good. Looking forward to Thursday night football tonight. I can't believe week 5 is already here. The
I mean, come
season's going by a little bit too fast for my
on.
liking.
You know that how it always goes, man. This part of the year always kind of just speeds by, and as you're anticipating the start of NFL season, that's when things really seem to slow down. But that for most people. For
Mhm.
you had something else going on this summer, and I gotta ask you, man. Now that it's a couple about a month, I guess, from you coming back to America, bringing the family back to America. What is your lasting memories of being over there in Paris for the Olympics? Tell the fans about that.
Man, that seems kind of weird you phrasing it like that. The first thing that came to my mind is Coming to America, the
Right,
movie.
the movie, right.
But
Well,
but yeah, I mean, it was a once in a lifetime experience, and I've been to a couple Olympics, but just to be in Paris, seeing all the athletes from all sports, primarily track and field, which is the sport that I cover for USA Today. I mean, it was just an amazing experience. And then, as you said, I got to was fortunate enough and blessed enough to take my family with me on the back end of the Olympics, and they certainly enjoyed Paris. We toured the Louvre, the Eiffel Tower, and everything after the Olympics. But the Olympics in general, though, man, I if I can give anybody some advice, at, try to at least go to one Olympic Games in your lifetime. And luckily, us in the United States, no matter
mhm.
where you're located in the country, 2028, 4 years from now, the Olympics are going to be in LA. So that's an easy location for a lot of people to make instead of going to somewhere in Europe or somewhere else. So yeah, the Olympics once in a lifetime experience. I would highly encourage anyone, especially sports fans, to go to the Olympics. There is no event like it. It's the best sporting event in the world. And I've been to Super Bowls, I've been to NBA finals, all-star games, Final Fours. There's
Mm.
nothing like the Olympics. The Olympics is the best sporting event in the world.
Wow, that's a high praise. Well, I mean, LA. There's a lot of flights going into LA.
Right.
You are
And
absolutely
you
correct.
you got multiple airports, LAX, you got Burbank, you got Ontario, you got Orange County, so Long Beach, pick an airport.
You you are right. Some people may be staying at the Ontario airport though, trying to commute into Los Angeles because those prices gonna be sky high. They may be trying to commuting into. They better rent their rental cars right now because I can only imagine if there was a shortage a couple years ago, what that might be once the Olympics do come into town.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool, man. Was there? You mentioned you got to take your wife. Maybe some of that stuff you don't want to share with us, but what do you have a lasting memory of, lasting visual of Paris? Was it the Eiffel Tower and everything that went around there? Because I was in Paris a few years ago, and obviously that was before the Olympics was set up. But look, watching it from television, it looked like there was a lot of construction work that went into that scene around the Eiffel Tower. What will be your lasting memory or your lasting visual of the Olympics?
Well, my lasting visual will probably be the Eiffel Tower with the Olympic rings on it.
Okay.
I mean, I took multiple pictures of it. Even at night, it would light up at night.
Sure.
And when my family came to visit, we took all a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower with the Olympic rings. So I think that will be my lasting image. My
Yeah.
lasting memory, though, I think what makes the Olympics so special is meeting people all over the world, whether
Okay.
it's athletes and journalists. I mean, I was talking to journalists from South Africa,
Mm,
from Barbados, from Japan,
that's pretty cool.
from
Yeah.
France, obviously. So just talking to those journalists and those athletes from Italy and just hearing their experiences and hearing about their culture, not even always about sports, I
Sure.
mean, you learn so much, and you get just a broader perspective, not only just of the world, but just of human beings.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that is definitely a lasting memory I'll have, and hopefully I'll have many more from years to come.
Well, that's pretty cool. I know this wasn't your first one, so I was very eager to hear kind of what your impression was of the Olympics, and we all saw it on TV. Um, you didn't see? Please tell me, or did you have a vantage point of what's? Oh my goodness, how am I having a brain fart to this clown? Who jumped on to the Hollywood sign and attached the star, the Olympic rings to the Hollywood? Not Rob Lowe. Who am I thinking about? Who was the guy who parachuted down from the top
Tom
of the
Cruise.
Tom Cruise parachuted down from the top of the Olympic Stadium?
Uh-huh.
Did you see that? Did you? What was your
Yes,
vision
I was at the closing ceremony, so
on
I did see
TV?
it.
On TV, that looks so phony.
They were
But did you?
trying to do the whole Mission Impossible stunt. I
Yeah,
get
it
where
was
they were going.
it
And
was
the closing ceremonies, not a lot of people watch it because, I mean, it's pretty much the
it was
closing
over.
of the
Yeah, yeah.
Olympics. The opening ceremonies is much more popular, much more, you're anticipated. But I think the best part of the closing ceremonies to me, and I'm biased, was the
Sure.
official handoff to LA and
Right, right,
seeing
right,
Snoop and Dre have a little mini concert on the
right.
beach
Yeah,
out here in
yeah, yeah.
California.
In
And then
Long Beach.
seeing
Yeah.
the Olympic rings kind of incorporated into the Hollywood sign, I thought that was really cool. And I really hope that actually happens for the 2028 Olympics. They have to make the
I mean, they're
Hollywood
doing it.
sign
Yeah, they'll
incorporate with
do
Olympic.
it. I'm sure LA will do something kind of over the top, like most,
Yeah.
most
You got to. It's LA.
It's LA. It's every 4 years. It hasn't been in America in 30 plus years, so
Yeah.
they're gonna have to do something special, man. But why I got you on the show, and thank you for making time for me tonight. I want to talk to you about this historical run that Jayden Daniels is on. Um, Now, I didn't go back into and do my homework on this. I should have did my homework because I do distinctly remember you not being so high on Jayden Daniels.
Whoa. I
And
think
then
that's wrong.
and then you came around. I think right the last time we talked, you was like, well, I do have some confidence in what he's doing. Tyler, did you expect him to be 91% in an NFL game?
I didn't expect 91%. I don't think anybody did. He has the best completion percentage by a quarterback in his first 4 games in NFL history.
Of
Nobody
anybody.
expected. Yeah, nobody expected that. I did expect him to transition well to the NFL, though, because when you see the way he developed from Arizona State to LSU, you saw NFL potential right there, and his trajectory was just going up, up, and up and up. I
Sure.
mean, that's really a credit to him and his coaches because he looked so much better than he looked at Arizona State. His ability to process defenses, throw with precision and accuracy. He's always been a good scrambling quarterback, always been able to, get rushing yards and use his legs, one of the best athletes on the field. But his development throwing the football and throwing with poise, accuracy, and precision.
Or anticipation. I
Yeah,
think in the
yes,
NFL, anticipation is a big thing, and he seems to have a lot of that. And your
he
poise,
has
the,
it.
the poise, the poise you spoke about is pretty awesome. I mean, he's putting up PlayStation numbers,
Yeah, yeah.
numbers that you die for on PlayStation. This is really incredible.
I mean,
Um,
my numbers on PlayStation a little bit better. Don't knock my Madden skills now.
here you go. I'm just saying 91%. If you did that on PlayStation, you're like, yeah, you got your chest out for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Um,
He's offensive rookie of the year front runner for sure right now.
Is this so? We're only 4 weeks in. We're very early into the season, but do you see this being sustainable throughout the year? Obviously, barring
Now,
injury, everything
yeah,
stays as it is.
upper 80 percentile completion percentage, no.
Mhm.
Do I see him still completing a high percentage? Yes. Do I see him still being the leading candidate for offensive rookie of the year? Yes. Do I see him leading the Commanders into the playoffs? I think it's certainly possible. Do I think
Yeah.
he will continue to develop as a quarterback? Of course. So to answer your question, it's impossible to sustain an NFL record completion percentage as a rookie. Now he can do it, but I don't foresee that. I think that's
a lofty ask.
Yeah, that's a lot for a first-year quarterback. But I mean, that's not a knock on him. I do think that the sky is the limit for this young man, and I really do believe that I want to see how the Commanders handle this success for the next few weeks. But I really do believe that they can make some noise when it's all said and done and get into the playoffs in the NFC East, because a lot of teams are struggling right now.
Right, yeah.
Especially in the NFC East.
The favorites are struggling, yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles don't look good. The Cowboys have their struggles. Micah Parsons is battling an ankle injury now. You know, Cooks is out with a knee injury. So it's a lot of things going on with the Cowboys. And when I look at the Commanders in that division, they're the team their arrows going up. The Giants have their issues. So, yeah.
I'm not sure the Giants brass makes a season. I'm not sure. That did you watch Hard Knocks? I mean, you were I know in Paris doing other things, but did you happen to see Hard Knocks?
Maybe I did not see the Giants version of Hard Knocks. I saw the Bears though.
Okay, yeah, the Giants version. It was just so. It really gave me confidence that I can be an NFL GM tomorrow. The way they were managing the things over there. I mean, when the coach,
as NFL GM, you need to talk to your Dolphins because they need a quarterback. I had to get a shot in.
That's on my list since you brought it up. Since you brought it up, is it a dereliction of duty not to have a quality backup quarterback behind the player, the poster child for NFL injuries in the last couple of years? I mean, we know Tua. I believe Tua was fragile coming out of college. He might not have been picked if I was the GM because he was fragile. He had multiple injuries coming out of college behind the best offensive line money can buy. Now, when he gets to the pros, we don't have that best offensive line. We already know that we don't have the best offensive line, and you draft this guy. Okay, 1 out of 4 years he had a good year. He led the league in passing last year. However, we still know he's injury prone. And not to have, and what bothers me even more is that we see Flacco doing what he's doing for Indianapolis. We see Carolina pull their backup quarterback and put him in the game. We see what's going on in Pittsburgh. They can't decide who to put in the game. I'm gonna get to that one in a little bit. But is it a dereliction of duty for Chris Grier not to have a quality backup quarterback on their team?
I hear the passion coming out when it comes to the Dolphins. I love that I instigated this, and that passion.
But I'm not. I got a passion, but I'm not wrong about this. I'm not wrong about this one, and I'm not sure who can convince me that I'm wrong about this take.
You feel strongly about it. I will say this: Tyler Huntley is not a dereliction of duty.
Okay,
but we had to go get him.
We had to go get him.
Yes,
he wasn't on our team. He didn't go to training camp.
That's what I was about to say. When they signed him so late in a process, that was not doing their due diligence. They should have had him in training camp. They should have signed him in the off season or at some point during the preseason, because he has proven in his career he's a quality backup. Now, I know he gets made fun of a lot for being a Pro Bowl quarterback, but that speaks to what he was as a backup. He was a quality backup. But it's hard for anybody, I don't care who you are at quarterback, to just come in on the fly, not knowing the system, and just being able to build chemistry with the receivers and being able to step right in and make things fly, make things popping. That's why
I'm not taking any shots at him. He's given an opportunity. Let's see what he can do. But I really believe strongly that that's Chris Grier's job. When you have an injury-prone quarterback to have somebody in place, then I blame. Now I'm concerned right now. Things are what they are now. Let's take the situation at hand as it is. I'm concerned with the Mike McDaniels, his coaching ability, because my next, you skipped the line. I was going to bring up the Dolphins. You know I was, but Kevin O'Connell has went to the boneyard multiple times in the past few years and shown that he can coach. He can take these guys off the scrap heap, if you will, and coach them up and get wins. You didn't expect this from Sam Darnold. You didn't expect Sam Darnold to be leading his team in 4 weeks to be 4-0. You didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it, but Sam Darnold was a high draft pick for a reason. He does have some talent, and
he's a journeyman up until this year.
He was a journeyman, but sometimes it takes to bounce around for a little while. And I talked to somebody the other day, and they mentioned that McVay and Shanahan is like quarterback rehab. So, and anytime somebody goes there, they just become a better quarterback. You look at Baker Mayfield. Look what he's doing in Tampa Bay. He went to Shanahan rehab. McVay rehab.
Yeah.
So I do believe when you bounce around for a while and you kind of, get your footing and kind of learn and kind of sit and watch and see how other quarterbacks do it, it's very hard for you not to develop. You may not develop into a star, but you can develop into a competent quarterback. Look at Geno Smith in Seattle. Yes. It's almost the same exact scenario.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that. But I have to give some credit to Kevin McConnell. This isn't the first. Sam Darnold isn't the first guy we've seen kind of shine under his situation in a limited amount of time. And that's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on a limited amount of time that you've had with somebody, and you make him. He had the scientist, the Rockets scientist, winning games last year, Dobbs. So I'm saying Kevin McConnell has showed me that he can coach up a quarterback, that he's a quarterback whisperer. I'll buy you. He did spend some time with Shanahan in that offense. I mean, I don't know what it was 6, 7, 8 weeks, but Mike McDaniels is 1-6 without Tua. 1-6. Now I can't give Tua all this praise and say Tua with Tua everything runs. It's a smooth oil machine. But I'm looking at my coach. Coach, you got to coach somebody up. You got to coach somebody up. That's my frustration right now with the Dolphins. We lose to Will Levis and Mason Rudolph the other night. I mean, it looked atrocious. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I feel the passion. I maybe there's better fortune for the Dolphins this weekend. I didn't pick the Dolphins to win.
Well, but they play the Patriots. It's a 1-point game. So I mean, come on. Talk to me next week about these guys, man.
I'll be sure to text you after the game.
I bet you will.
See how you doing.
I bet you will. Will Bryce Young start another game for the Panthers?
So there are rumors that he will start again later this season. Do I believe those rumors are true? Yes, because I don't think the Panthers are going to be in playoff contention come end of November, December. And then I think that Dave Canellis will look at the situation, assess it, and say, okay, we want to give Bryce Young another chance to see how he finishes the season and see if this is going to be our quarterback of the future after this. I mean, let's be honest. It was a humbling, humiliating demotion for a number one overall pick to be demoted for a journeyman quarterback at this point, and Andy Dalton. And on top of that, you look at the quarterback that was drafted directly after him is C.J. Stroud, who was killing it right now and has his team as a contender in the AFC. So I do believe when it's all said and done that, Bryce Young will have another opportunity to start for Carolina later this season. And I hope that he shows a lot better on the field too.
Speaking of dereliction of duty, why do they have? I mean, I was going to ask you this before the season started, but they had him standing on the sidelines during preseason games. Why, without having the season that many people expected or hoped he would have last year. He showed, if anything, he showed he needs more reps. What was the benefit of sitting him down? I mean, injuries, is that what you're going to tell me? Injuries, or they're being scared? Like, he needed those reps in preseason before the game started and before live action starts. That didn't make sense to me. Can you tell me anything other than injuries? Their fear for injuries.
It's really a fear for injuries. Now, I get both sides of the equation. I get coaches who do not want to play their star players or stars in the preseason, and I get coaches who do want to play. So they start the season off strong and don't have that rest and build chemistry with their teammates and, get accustomed to the speed of the game. But for Bryce Young's sake, I would have at least played him a few series in the preseason to get comfortable, to get used to the system, and for him just to continue to develop.
Yeah.
I do think that affected him negatively, especially this year.
Just a few more topics I want to hit. Obviously, we got to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers situation. I was surprised going into week one that calf injury that Russell Wilson had lasted through 3 weeks. I said, okay, they want to give the young guy time. They're going to pick the veteran in when he's ready to go. Week one, the rookie win, or the young guy wins. Week two, the young guy wins. Week three, now he's 0-3. Does Russell Wilson start a game for the Steelers this season?
I am going to say no.
Were you surprised?
Go ahead. It's very tough for the Steelers to sit Justin Fields after 3-0 start. I know they lost last week. Now they're 3-1. But he's shown big strides as a pocket passer and just passing the football. I watched the game against the Chargers. There were times where he was throwing with precision. Mm-hmm. And I was unaccustomed to that when it came to Justin Fields passing the football with the Chicago Bears. And then not only just his element of passing, which he has improved, but running the football. He is a threat, like you said, yes, in that department. And at this stage of Russell Wilson's career, he is not. Now, can Russell Wilson do it? Yes, but he's not Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a quarterback who can rush for 100 yards in a game. You're not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Russell Wilson is a guy who rushes for 50 yards. You're like, oh, you're kind of mildly surprised.
Yeah.
So
at this stage,
I do believe Justin Fields adds more versatility and just gives your offense a higher ceiling than Russell Wilson.
So you're along the mindset though. I was surprised again. I was really surprised with Russell. I didn't expect that calf injury, however it was reported, unless they didn't say high ankle sprain, they didn't say Achilles or anything like that. They would say calf injury. I thought, okay, he'll be back. He's starting game one with trying to do his best, not for this to be the last stop in his career. So I'm extremely surprised he's sitting out these games.
I have a feeling that calf injury will slowly get better if Justin Fields starts playing bad.
All of a sudden he's healed now.
Yeah, it's going to heal. Actually, quickly he'll get better and quickly get better if Justin Fields starts playing bad.
That's funny. Talking about Justin Fields' last home was in Chicago. What do you see as the ceiling for both of these guys, Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze? What's your thoughts on their ceiling? Now, I got chastised because I'll tell you, before the season started, I had the nerve to say that Keenan Allen was a Hall of Fame wide receiver. And they just let Andre Johnson into the Hall of Fame,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Keenan Allen has had just as good of a career as him, and I would say even more so. So Andre Johnson gets let in. Keenan Allen has to go in my opinion. But what do you see as the ceiling for Caleb and Rome? And I expected Caleb to get off to a much better start with some of the tools that he had available to him. However, he's not seeing the game, or trusting his eyes as some of us might expected. But the two of those guys, what do you see as their ceiling?
So I think the Bears.
Excuse me.
You got to get some water over there, some tea, something.
Yeah, my bad, man. I'm not at home, man. I don't know if you can see I'm on location, man. I got Betty Boop in the background. This is not my background, fans.
I thought it was your background.
Oh, look at you. Look
at you. If I had to guess, first of all, I think the Bears are like an 8-win team. 9 wins is their ceiling. I do believe that is a successful season considering where the Bears came from.
Okay.
Caleb Williams, the game looks still a little bit too fast for him right now. And he's having trouble with just the speed of it right now. And then when I see him scrambling out and trying to buy time, I feel like he still sometimes thinks he could make the same plays he made in the Pac-12.
Right.
And he can't because everybody else is bigger and faster in the NFL. And so he's not all the way adjusted to the NFL game right now. But that happens with reps and time on task, time on the field. He's shown strides. I do like some of the plays he made against the LA Rams. He definitely showed flashes in that game. But it's going to take a little bit more time for him because he was a quarterback I liken to kind of that Patrick Mahomes type. Kind of you improvise, kind of extend plays, make plays with your feet outside the pocket, scramble around, buy time, throw a guy open. As far as Jayden Daniels, his Heisman Trophy winning season, he was more of a quarterback. Yeah, I can run, but I could also slice and dice you within the pocket.
Leave a receiver open.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
But I do believe Caleb Williams is going to be successful when it's all said and done. This season's going to be some rookie growing pains, and Jayden Daniels is going to have some too once he plays some stiffer competition, especially really good defenses. As far as Rome Odunze, the concerns about him coming into the draft and coming into the NFL, some of them have been underscored through the first 4 games. His ability to separate, he's not a separator that well. And so that's one of the reasons why, he's not had a banner start or a Malik Neighbors start or Marvin Harrison Jr. start because of his inability to separate from coverage. Now, he's a big body receiver. He can, do those body box you out, go up and get it. He got a big catch radius, but he's not a receiver that you can say, okay, I need you to run this route and I need you to create separation. So Caleb Williams is comfortable throwing you the ball that it's not going to get deflected and intercepted. He's not a receiver like that yet. Can he develop into one? Maybe, but he is not, and he wasn't really in college either. So I do think that is a skill that he has to try to continue to develop.
Fair enough. I called him to my co-host chagrin. I called him a possession receiver. I thought he was going to be a big body. No. I just what I saw from him, what I saw from him at Washington, University of Washington, was I saw him running solid routes, but I didn't see him catch and run by anybody. So to your point, him not creating separation that's pretty that's clear. And Caleb's inability to kind of throw a receiver open, he's looking for the receiver to be wide open when he throws the ball to him. He's not able to get wide open, so that's why his numbers are low. Rome Odunze. So a possession receiver, first down type of receiver, short yardage type of receiver. That's what I anticipated. When you come on and talk to Cleveland, you can express that, and then I'll just shut up and laugh because that's what I've been telling them. And his inability to get open kind of causes a problem there. And that I agree with you. My last point is I wanted to ask you this before the season started, but since we are into week 4, we actually saw some positive signs from Deshaun Watson last week. We actually saw him making a few plays that he probably should have made a couple years ago. Will Deshaun Watson work his way back into that 2019 form?
So the Browns should have won that game, first of all. And one of the interception I saw that Deshaun Watson had that bounced off of Mark Cooper's hands, that wasn't on Deshaun.
Yeah.
And then there was a bogus holding call that negated a touchdown for Cleveland. So the Browns should have won that game. To answer your question, though, no, he's not going to get back to that Houston Texans Pro Bowl level. However, I do think he can get to a level that is somewhere near that, in the neighborhood. Right now, he's not even in the neighborhood, which is the problem. He
Right.
is sometimes he looks like a third string quarterback that is in over his head.
He
And that
does.
is,
I've seen that too. That he
yes.
looks like he's trying to feel his way out. He's trying to
It-
figure this whole thing out. Yeah.
But I did see some positive strides going forward last week. Now, can he continue to build on that? That's the question. Because right now, he has had damage returns for that $230 million contract. He has not lived up to it, point blank, period. I don't think anybody will say he has.
Yeah, for sure.
But can he rebound and develop into the quarterback that he once was? I do believe he can get into that same neighborhood, but it's hard to take, be off of the game for that long and then get back to where you're at is difficult.
Now I saw you wrote the article. I did say that was the last point, but we didn't. There was one point I missed over. I skipped over. I saw you recently wrote the article on Davante Adams potential trade, or I don't know, it was a trade request, it was
Landing
a trade agreement,
spots.
or the landing spots. And then I also saw your article on and Pearson. Antonio Pierce trying to use Belichick's I'm off to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But that didn't go over so well.
No, it didn't.
You had the Cowboys on there. I think you had the 49ers on there. Correct me where I'm wrong. You had you didn't have the 49ers?
No. So mind you, this isn't who I think is going to get him, but these are the teams that I believe will be the best fits.
Okay.
I had the Cowboys. I had the Chiefs. I had
I didn't consider the Chiefs, but okay.
I had the Chargers.
You got to talk about that one more.
I had the Steelers.
The Steelers.
And I had one more team.
You had the Steelers?
Yeah, I had the Steelers. I had one more team.
Let's see. I got it.
Let me go back to my article. I can't believe I forgot the last team I had.
Cowboys. I got it right here.
Steelers. Jets.
You did have the Jets on there.
Yeah, I said the Jets.
The Chiefs. In Dallas Cowboys, that's all I see. What surprised me was the Chargers. What surprised me was the Chargers.
So
it makes sense in the sense that they don't have a number one receiver. I don't think Johnson's been that impressive. Palmer hasn't taken that next step from what I've seen. I'm watching from afar. That makes sense, but is you tell me. I haven't got the feeling that Harbaugh is willing to take that big swing or ready to take that big swing.
So yeah, I had the Chargers, Cowboys, Chiefs, Jets, and Steelers. I think the Steelers was a team I was missing at first. And so I can make a case for all those teams. I do believe in what I'm hearing. The Steelers are in the mix, and I'm hearing the Jets are in the mix. I'm hearing the Saints are also in the mix. Davante Adams wants to go to a team that he's comfortable with and familiar with. And I mentioned familiar with because he's familiar with Aaron Rodgers. He's familiar with Derek Carr. Those are two of his friends.
Yeah.
Carr's probably one of his best friends from his Fresno State days.
So why
So
Carr?
those are
Why
teams.
Carr leave him hanging in with the
Carr didn't
Raiders?
leave him hanging. The Raiders wanted
No, that's right.
to
They benched him.
divorce him.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Okay.
So and then for the Steelers were in on the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes before he re-signed with the 49ers. And so you know that they want to upgrade the wide receiver position. That's why I put them on there. And they have some salary cap space, but they're going to have to do some, reshuffling to get him in the building. Most of these teams will have to do that.
But if he's frustrated, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. If he's frustrated in Las Vegas with Minshew and McConnell, I think it is, throwing to him, what's he going to be with Fields and Russell throwing to him?
Fields was starting Vegas easily, and I do believe Fields will be a decent quarterback for Davante Adams.
Okay.
Now, I don't think he's Aaron Rodgers, but I do think he's decent enough where Davante will be fine.
There might be some going. Still
I
going to happen there. But go ahead.
I had the Chiefs on there for obvious reasons. Yeah. Their quarterback, their receiver room has been depleted. The Chiefs don't have the money to sign him or, absorb his salary, but obvious reasons why I picked the Chiefs. The Chiefs need to address their wide receiver position.
We finally found something that Mahomes can't do well on the football field, and that's tackle. How we gonna try to tackle somebody with the back of his shoulder? Like Mahomes, come on, hey, get out the hole. Get out there. Just go stand over there. Go back to your sideline when that happens.
The Jets are the clear front runner though right now.
Don't want to see that.
Man, I know you don't.
I don't want to see that. However, he's not a downfield receiver. He hasn't been.
To be.
He has true facts. Okay, fair enough. He's more. I'm not going to qualify him as a possession receiver. He's better than that, but he's a lot of his times or catches are third and 7. He'll get 9 yards for you. 3rd and 15. He'll get 17 yards for you. He can.
That's good.
No, those count. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discount him at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying he's not stretched the field. He's not Tyreek Hill running down running down the seam.
You don't need that.
Well, fair enough. You don't have to be. And he runs good route. He does get separation.
He might be the best route runner in the league.
So that makes those intermediate routes makes him so effective in those intermediate routes. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of where he ends up going. You kind of spoke on it. You said he wants to be somewhere comfortable and somewhere that has to win. That's my question. Is like, that's initial question that Cleveland and I was discussing the other night. What does he want? Does he want to be with a friend or somebody he's familiar with, i.e. Rodgers or Carr?
He wants to be somewhere where he's
paid. Does pay be a focus of his? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's all three. He wants to get paid. He wants to be somewhere where he's comfortable with, and he wants to win. Now it's a tough three to have,
right?
But that's why his high in his list are the New York Jets. And the Saints aren't a bad option because the Saints, they're playing the NFC South. This is the NFC South that could be had right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear the Ravens rumored. The Ravens really don't have a number one receiver.
I think that would be a good fit. I would like to see him there, and then that eliminates any question that we have with about Lamar Jackson. That all questions are erased off the board. You have a running game now. You have quality receivers.
Yeah,
there's
if
no.
Davante Adams goes to the Ravens.
I don't know how
that would be scary.
I would like to see that because I would like to then see what Lamar does with that faction of talent that he has. But if he went to the Chiefs, I wouldn't be mad at all. I still think the Chiefs are going to repeat. Do you agree the Chiefs is going to repeat? I would have told you that 4 weeks ago. I think the Chiefs are three-peating.
I don't. I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, and I'm sticking with my pick. My pick looks really good right now, the way Derrick Henry's running the football.
Yeah.
199 yards against the Buffalo Bills last week.
Yeah.
You still even – I mean, they haven't even got Mark Andrews going yet.
I know. Or likely this year. Yeah. There.
And don't let them get Davante Adams
again.
If they
I would like to see that. I would like to see it. I think we spoke soon enough. I told you the Jets weren't going to do anything this year, and I think I'm accurate so far through 4 weeks.
It's week 5, man. Week 5.
Tyler, let everybody know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, at the Tyler Dragon on Twitter. You can follow me on there. Also, my Facebook page is Tyler Dragon, so you can follow me on my Facebook fan page as well. My offer page on USA Today is usatoday.com/Tyler Dragon, so you can read all my latest work on the internet as well.
Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you making time for us. Thank you, sir. Enjoy football tonight. Who you got, the Falcons or the Buccaneers?
I'm picking the Falcons. I'm not very confident, but I'm picking the Falcons.
Okay, I think I picked the Falcons as well. Thank you for your time. Where you at this weekend? What games are you going to?
I'm at the Rams and the Packers at SoFi Stadium.
Ooh, good one. That's not a bad one. That's not who you got in that one. Is Jordan Love back?
Jordan Love is back. I'm picking the Packers. The Rams have been decimated by injuries right now. They're walking wounded. They really need a bye week.
But you really can't underestimate Sean McVay.
This is true.
He's had these guys fighting every week, every game this week. So once again, thank you for your time, man. Enjoy the football this weekend. Enjoy the football tonight, and we'll talk to you soon, big guy. Appreciate you.
Sounds good.
Later.